So again, the Senate voting on financial reform today, the so-called Dodd bill. Of course, this will be the third attempt at a vote this week to open debate on the legislation. Joining us now is Bert Ely. He is the CEO of Ely Co. Consulting for almost 30 years. He's advised on deposit insurance and banking regulations. He's even testified many times before congressional committees considering these issues. Mr. Ely, pleasure to have you on the show. So the key here is whether or not any Republicans have caved yet. And we don't have that information as of right now. It doesn't seem so. Also some issues with the Democratic Senator Nelson, what his story is going to be here in terms of which way he votes. Would you agree with that here for the third time around?
Yes. Now, if all the Republicans vote no, they would still block the legislation being taken up, even if Nelson switched to a yes. But the key thing is whether or not any Republicans will break ranks. And so far, I have not heard of any, but we'll know shortly as soon as the vote tally is announced.
Yeah, we're keeping a very close eye on this. We have our whole crew in Washington doing the same thing. So what happens if, again, this is a third vote just to open debate on reg reform? So what happens if the Republicans, they've basically stated this is their strategy. They're going to hold out as long as they can here to to yield this advantage.
Well, what the Republicans are trying to do is to force the Democrats back to the table to negotiate on a number of substantive problems with this legislation, and to buy time so that more and more of, particularly across industrial America, folks can express their concerns about this legislation. Right. Because once it goes to the floor, then amendments only require a vote of 51 members or a majority, and effectively that would greatly limit the ability of the Republicans to further influence the legislation. So their goal at this time is to block it coming to the floor so that they can put more pressure on the Democrats to compromise on some of these issues.
And Mr. Ely, it's Mark Crumpton, and I would like to mention that vote now 46 in favor of beginning debate, 38 against. Sir, the timing of this coming with the SEC suit against Goldman, how is that going to affect it, if at all?
Well, it's not just the SEC suit against Goldman, but also the 11-hour hearing yesterday with Goldman executives is sought to build pressure to push the bill through, to put pressure on the Republicans. It's not clear, though, whether or not that is going to work, because there are a number of industries that are increasingly concerned about various provisions of this legislation, specifically any restrictions on derivatives, collateral requirements for derivatives, and also the consumer financial protections that are in the bill. So the opposition is growing from far outside the financial services industry.
Bert Ely, thank you so much, Bert Ely and Company.